Hey guys, we're back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a One Piece tier list. Now, I'm going to leave a link to the description for this specific episode. I listened to this in a podcast called Anime Plus. It's pretty fun. I'm in their Discord server, and it's a great time. However, they just did an episode where they rank all of the One Piece arcs. They did part 1, which is all of pre-time skip. However, they're pretty sure they missed about half the story. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to rank all the pre-time skip arcs, and then in a few weeks I will do the post-time skip arcs. But, yeah. No, so let's get started. I'm going to talk about the arc and stuff. So this is going to be a slightly longer, this is going to be like more like a podcast type thing. But yeah. So we got Romance Dawn as the first one. Romance Dawn. So I got to really think about where I want to put these. But I'm going to say Romance Dawn, and this would be more towards the anime. The manga is very different, but it is important to remember the manga in some of these. I'm going to say just early introduction, just B. It's nothing too crazy, but it's not bad at all. Orange Town. So Romance Dawn, I'm not putting it there. Romance Dawn was when we meet Zoro, but we also meet Luffy and Kobe and stuff. Orange Town is when we meet Nami and we beat Buggy. And I'm going to put that as B as well. Both of these are just kind of generic. They're not bad. They do introduce a story. They're good stories. It's just they don't really draw you in. It's just, oh no, Zoro's struggling. But yeah. So then we have Syrup Village, and this one, I do gotta put one lower. This man spent all this time just to lose, what he should have done, just force her. I don't know why he had to, invade and everything, well, it took 20 years, I don't know. My man messed up, he had such, my man was a goof. Boratier. So this is Sanji's arc. Also, I am going to put these in order, so I think Romance Dawn is slightly better than Orange Town. I'm going to put Baratier A. I think it is a solid arc. It really shows Luffy's will. It introduces the conflict with Nami, and it also just shows it's Sanji's arc, and it's where Sanji really joins the crew and starts to really connect with them. Along Park, I think I got to put it in S tier. It's great, just the battle with Luffy, him chucking out the desk and everything, which nobody really understands. Why is he throwing on a desk? I don't even think Arlong really understands why, but Luffy is trying to get rid of all the conflicts there. We got Log Town. I'm going to put this higher than Orange Town, but lower than Romance Dawn. Log Town does have some great moments. With, Zoro getting his sword, Luffy declaring that he's gonna be king of pirates to everyone. But, I don't know, just, like I said, there are so many, actual more lore. However, we do meet Dragon here, which is pretty cool. And I think once we know a little bit more about that, and I do think we're gonna go back there with Dragon, Sabo, Bartolomeo, we're gonna go back here. I can see myself changing this higher once we know a little bit more about some of these characters, but we don't. This one's canon. This one is canon. It was from the manga cover arts. It's canon. I'm gonna put it as I'm gonna put it a high C, but it's canon. Reverse Mountain. So we are going to be skipping the filler, actual filler. So we're not going to do the Worship Island arc, but we have Reverse Mountain. This is where we introduced Laboon, Crocus, and we also learn more about the Roger Pirates and stuff a little bit. We get in there, and then this is leading into Whiskey Peak. I'm going to say right there, Log Town and Romance Dawn are great, but yeah. Whiskey Peak. I think Whiskey Peak is just going to be a low A. Whiskey Peak is where Zoro beats 100 bounty hunters. But we also introduced the Baroque Work Saga. So, yeah, I mean, and I can definitely go more into this. Let me know in the comments what you think about some of these. If there's any like questions that you don't really remember why, or like points, it's like that's not really what happened. Let me know, and we can totally discuss, or join the Discord as well. I love talking about One Piece. I can easily talk about it for hours. It's just I don't want this to be a 5-hour long video, because I can probably spend a good hour or two on each of these. I can easily spend an hour talking about the first 3 episodes and not going into what happens in the future. I can just talk about the first 3 episodes for an hour. So obviously I don't think people want to watch that, because we got to get the whole way here, which is crazy. So Diary of Kopi Meppo, again, this is canon. This was in the cover stories and just in the side background. I'm gonna put this one, nothing bad, like it's just a few episodes. It's just Kobe and Helmeppo eventually going to get trained under Garp. So yeah, nothing crazy. Little Garden. This one really hurt me. They put this so low. This is where we introduce Elbaf. We meet Dory and Bragi. It's crazy, the warrior spirit. This is crazy. I gotta put this in A. I'm gonna put it in low A, but this is a very important arc. In the fact that even in the manga to where we are now, chapter 1121, we still do not know and have been to Elbaf. We've seen Elbaf, but the Straw Hats themselves have not gone to that island. Drama Island, I'm gonna say high B tier. High B tier. This is where we meet Chopper. We have, I want to say Hohenheim. That's not the doctor's name. Or Helmeppo, Chopper's doctor, Dr. Kreha, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, this is a great arc. It's fun, but it's obviously not gonna have some of the emotional impact that some of these other ones do, as we don't meet the characters as long, or it's just not as, like, don't get me wrong, right? Like, Chopper was bullied, he lost his father figure, but compared to really being abused, losing his mother right in front of you, like, that is so much more traumatic. Alabasta. Okay, so personally, I think Alabasta is in my top 3 arcs. I don't even have Arlong there, but okay, so actually we first learn about the poneglyphs here. We learn about an ancient weapon. We meet a Logia type user, like, as a proper villain. Like, yes, we have Smoker, but he's only there for a few episodes, right? We actually get this, but we also do have Smoker going back. We see about Sea Prism. I think we learn about Sea Prism in Alabasta. It's the whole politics of the world as well. So I was gonna put it high A tier. I think I have to put it in S tier, because this is also a great example of, again, I'm forgetting the terminology, not mitochondria, the smaller version versus bigger version. Like, this is what the whole story of One Piece is. Alabasta. Jaya, I'm gonna put this low, I'm gonna put it low A tier, for one simple purpose. Luffy punched him. That was great. I'm gonna put Skypiea. I'd say obviously better than Whiskey Peak. Like I said, Little Garden is just for that implementation of introducing some of these storylines. Skypiea is significantly better with Enel and stuff like that. And obviously Enel comes back in some of the cover stories, which aren't going to be covered here. But I think Baratier is slightly better, which is Luffy's pure will. However, this does have Sanji's nothing happened moment before the nothing happened moment even happened, with him grabbing a smoke, just completely getting electrocuted. Some great moments from our boy Eminem. But yeah. Long Ring, Long Land. Again, this is canon. Canon specifically refers to, is it in the manga or not? That is it. It's not, do you like it or do you not? I don't think it has that much story. Even if there was not a single element of an arc that is related to the story, if it's in the manga, it's canon. Unless stated otherwise, it's canon. So this is canon. Also, something else that people forget is this is also where we meet the Admiral, and we actually battle Aokiji. So that's pretty important. I'm gonna put this up. So, like, I know people diss on this arc, and I will say it's kind of annoying, but there's some great moments. Like I said, Aokiji, we start with some Robin stuff, but also the moment where it's just that, like, brother relationship with Zoro and Chopper is kind of great. So honestly, I'm gonna put it here. It's not better than Romance Dawn or Drum Island, but I definitely don't think it's terrible, and these early arcs definitely have stuff missing from them. And I do think if it was the manga, it'd be different, or if it continued, like, in Orange Town, right? Like, in the manga, Buggy actually killed his crewmates. That didn't happen in the anime, so he lost a lot of that infamy of actually being a threat. He's just a goofball. I think the anime, the live action, did a great job of actually showing Buggy's original nature, and if we continued with that versus him just being a goofball, I would definitely put that one higher. Water 7. So again, these are where we're splitting arcs, so this is specifically Water 7. So this will be the train getting to, like, first time seeing the sea train, but then getting to Water 7 and the whole Frankie fight as well. But this would also be Robin getting kidnapped, you know, Ice Pops getting shot. So I'm gonna put this as high A tier. But then Enies Lobby specifically, I want to live Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Diable Jambe, Demon Form Astra, Demon Spirit Astra, S tier. And honestly, I gotta put it here. This might be, I'd say, anime-wise, this is my favorite arc. If we're going manga-wise, so far with how just crazy everything is going on, I will put Egghead up there. And Egghead's not on this list because the anime, like, the Wano's completed, and we're talking. Also, we're only at 12 minutes because I'm kind of speed running it. I think I'm getting enough explanation. If you do want more, like I said, let me know in the comments. But post Enies Lobby, I'd say more post Water 7 because it's on Water 7, and that's just kind of how it helps you explain where the arcs are. Obviously not S tier. I'd say it's better than Jaya, but it's not better than some of these more actual main arcs, because there's a lot of, like, post arcs. Now, for post Enies Lobby, the image is the Ace versus Blackbeard fight, which is significantly important, don't get me wrong. But there's also the introduction of Garp, as Luffy's grandfather, but we also do get some lore on the dragon being his father, so that whole the monkey timeline. You also have just the 4 emperors, the new world, all that kind of stuff, and then we also got the goated Kobe glow up. Can't forget that. Don't forget that. Fiddler Bark. Again, there are so many moments here. I remember in the podcast episode they were talking about the nothing happened moment, which is great. But do you know what else happened? Ryuma. That dude, like, if we go the whole way, like, so I'm currently rewatching, and I'm currently on Zoe, right? And they're currently, I think it was Punk Hazard or Dressrosa, they're trying to steal his sword because it was Ryuma's sword. Now, we know he got it from the actual Ryuma with Brook's shadow, but that's such an important character that literally, that is introduced here, right? And we don't actually go to Wano till here. We go through all of these arcs. This is such an important, like, build-up and introduction to so many things, including another warlord. We actually see the team fight as one. How many times have we seen in all of these where the entire crew fights one enemy? Kaido? No. Like, Zoro fought King, Sanji fought Queen. Whole Cake. Again, the main fight was just Luffy versus Kataguri. Zoe. Jack was beat by Zenusha. Dressrosa, they're all, like, Zoro beat Pika. Sanji wasn't there. Punk Hazard. I don't think they really did anything. It was doing just Luffy. Fishman Island, they're all beating different guards, and then Luffy's trying to beat the Noah. Like, they are all fighting their own battle. this is one of the only times that we actually see them fight together. And for that, I'm gonna put it high A. Not better than Water 7, but the lore, everything, it's very important, and I think it's super underrated. Sabaody. So this one really, again, just drives home and shows the politics of the world with slavery, racism, and some very deep topics, but it's important because that is important conflict points and storylines that follow along, including, Arlong Park was based off of Sabaody Park. So for that, I don't think it's better than Skypiea, but I do think it's better than all these as well, because we also see an admiral as well. We see the other one, we see Kizaru. We meet the worst generation and all that, but we also do have Luffy punching a celestial dragon. But like I said, there's some more plot points in some of these that drive the plot forward significantly more, that I'm gonna rate this one a little bit lower. Amazon Lily, I'm gonna say high. So Amazon Lily is just kind of like a transfer arc. However, we do see Luffy using Conqueror's Haki for the first time, properly. Yes, he used it here before Sabaody. He actually properly used Conqueror's Haki for the first time here. Boa, some cool fights. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna be A tier with some of these great arcs, but I don't think it's as bad as C tier. I'd say I like this one more with the Admiral and stuff, and just some more character connections with the whole crew. But this is a great arc, so I'm gonna put it middle B. Middle B. So I can't see the episodes. This is a bunch of episodes. I'm just not gonna rate this one because I don't want to rate it unfairly. But it looks like it's just some special, I think this is what they were doing after they were separated. So because of that, like I said, it's nothing too crazy. We'll put it bottom B. I would put it higher if it was, actually no, I'll put it above Orange Town and Diary of Kobe Meppo. Impel Down. So this is the only time Luffy did not win. Now, don't get me wrong, Luffy has lost multiple times, including against Crocodile, but he actually lost and he did not get back up and beat the same person. However, though, something that I think even this guy regrets, Magellan, he actually gave Luffy a tolerance to poison, which really screwed this guy up, because of the fact that the whole way through, including up through Whole Cake, Luffy had this immunity, and we see that come into play and save his life multiple times. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I'm gonna put that, yeah, well, I don't like Marineford and this whole saga as much as others, but it's still solid. So I'm gonna put it above, Sabaody, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, which I do think are great arcs. But I personally don't enjoy it or think it's as good as, say, Skypiea, Baratier, Baratier, I definitely think has some nostalgia there. Actually, yeah, let's move Baratier down a bit. It's great, but I think Don Creek just kind of ruins it a bit. If it was a better villain, I could rate it higher, even though with some other stuff. But I do think it's better than some of these other ones. Marineford. I'm going to put an S tier. Like you said, personally, I don't enjoy it as much, but it's still a solid arc. However, I am going to put it bottom S. There's just something about it that I just could not connect with as much. But I think everyone kind of knows about Marineford at this point, so I don't think I have to go too much into why I'm putting it in S tier. We have the post-war arc, Luffy just realizing, we see the crew's reaction to Ace's death, and then the introduction to him about to be training. Let's put it high B tier. It's a solid B tier, it's nothing too crazy, but it's also not, bad. So again, B tier, pretty average. So let's see. So now I'm thinking, like, yeah, I do want to put it in A tier. I do think it's definitely one of the better. It's the best, other than Arlong Park. It is the best of like all of these East Blue arcs. You know, Reverse Mountain, Orange Town. But definitely does not hold up as well. So return to Saba Odi. So this is a quick one, but we do see everyone's power. Luffy goes crazy. I think, yeah, it's not as good as some of these. I'm gonna put it here. Romance Dawn, Drama Island, Post-War, it's definitely better. But I do think just seeing everyone's powers and stuff, and just some of that kind of goofy stuff, and getting down to Fishman Island, that start of that, is better than these. Fishman Island. So the villain himself, Horty Jones, is definitely in conflict, and I do think, again, the manga is better here, because in the anime, the manga, he specifically just hates humans just because. In the anime, there's a scene that specifically shows him getting hurt by humans or attacked by humans, and it kind of just completely counteracts his point of him just hating humans, because why not? So I'm gonna rate this one more a little bit on that manga aspect, but it definitely does have some downsides. I'm gonna put it right below Little Garden. I think it's better than some of these. It's better than this. It's a great arc. We meet the second, we meet the second weapon, Poseidon, because we already know Pluton from Enies Lobby. So we meet the second weapon. Jinbei, you know, ask him to join the crew, this and that, but yeah, definitely some just, Horty Jones definitely brings it down, but he is Hatred Incarnate, which is a great villain, but because it is a concept that is the enemy versus the character, it brings it down slightly, and there's not as much lore. However, actually no, I'm gonna bump it up past here, because we do actually talk about Joy Boy here. This is like one of the first introductions of Joy Boy. Punk Hazard. So I just watched Punk Hazard. It's a great arc, but definitely not as good as some of these ones. It does introduce the entire New World saga, you know, with Big Mom, all that kind of stuff, you know, because Dressrosa, all that kind of stuff. So it's great, but I don't think it's nearly as good as some of these. I think it's better than Diary of Kobe Meppo and these. But honestly, when we get to I'll put it higher than Reverse Mountain, but when we get to Amazon Lily and these proper arcs, I don't think it holds up. However, we do meet Law here, not meet him for the first time, but this is where the introduction of that alliance forms. Dressrosa, 120 episodes. I just finished Dressrosa, like I said. I am currently on Zoe. For like the 7th time, by the way. I've watched the anime the whole way through, don't worry. But Dressrosa. S tier, no. I gotta say high A tier. I'm gonna say Impel Down is better, just for that whole saga, Impel Down, Marineford, all that kind of stuff. But Dressrosa is solid with Gear 4th. Doflamingo is definitely, I think, one of my favorite villains. Top 3, without a doubt. Top 5 in all of anime. Top 5 villain. His backstory is compelling. Corazon, Law story, the history, just some of the symbolism as well, which Doflamingo saw himself, is how he was going to give the heart seat to Law, but he wouldn't take it. But then he wore Corazon's jacket, and he was called the Hearts Pirate, saying, I'm not going to be your heart, but I will be a heart. Under Corazon's name. Like, it has some great symbolism, so I can't put it below A tier. And I definitely do think it's better than some of these, but these are just on a different level. Zoe, I'm currently watching right now. Raizo is safe. That's the episode I just watched. That was crazy. We do not see them shocked. When we see Zoro and Luffy shocked, it is on a different playing field. We see Jack completely get wiped out. That was great and stuff like that. But it is a significantly shorter one at, what is this, like 30 episodes? Something like that, little less. So I do gotta put it, yeah, it looks like a little less than 30 episodes, like 20 something. So I'm gonna put it here. And that's because it is not a main arc, but it is significant. It is a significant arc, especially for lore. We get a road poneglyph. I want to say, is this the first? Yeah, no, this is the first road poneglyph. We get the first one here, second one at a whole cake, third one at Wano, and we don't currently have the fourth. So this is the start of the road poneglyphs, the pirate, samurai, minx alliance, all that kind of stuff. So this is definitely crazy. Actually, for that, I'm gonna put it above Fishman, but again, these are just different. But this is just like one of those shorter arcs, you know, post Marineford type thing. Whole Cake Island. Katakuri, I'd say, is the only non-villain antagonist. All these people are bad people, you know, with ill ideologies, just general evil to the core, or just corrupt and just want power or money. Katakuri is just protecting his family, but he's honorable, he attacked himself, and honestly, I might have to put it, I think I'm gonna put it A tier, high A. I really enjoyed this arc. I'd say of all of Time Skip, right? Because I feel like there's just something different about Time Skip, and I understand there's a lot of reasons to that, with just them growing up, them realizing it's the new world, that just is missing. You know, we just don't have as many crazy iconic moments, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible. But this is probably my favorite arc post Time Skip, up until, like, you know, Wano and Egghead. But I'd say up, like, of that New World saga, I think Whole Cake Island is one of my favorite, and it really shows the politics too, with the underworld and stuff like that, which I thought was very interesting. With the Reverie, it says Reverie, it's the Reverie. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it. I think higher than Drum Island, but not quite as good as, like, the best B tier. Yeah, I think that's good. So this is where we see CP0, Cypher Pole, 0, Cypher Aegis, whatever it's called. We see Rob Lucci, but we do see the princesses. This is not where, what's it called, dies. Cobra dies, I believe. I think that's more post-Wano into Egghead. But we do see the Celestial Dragon that from Fisherman Island that was saved. He actually comes back and he saves Hirohoshi from Charlos. You know, that one, the one that got punched. But yeah. Then finally, we got Wano. And I grew up on some older cartoons. I grew up on Looney Tunes, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw, Monkey Draw, all of those types of characters. Tom and Jerry. I grew up on that. So Gear 5 holds a very special place and just appreciation for older animation, just goofiness, but it's also just the thematic and story elements behind Gear 5th with his freedom, with him just going full force. He's just goofy, but it's also strong, right? Especially the anime really portrays that. We see that with against Rob Lucci and Egghead, where he just kind of goes demon mode sometimes, but he's still goofy, he's still stretchy. Do I think it is the best arc? No. Do I think it's top 3 arcs? I'm gonna say yeah. And actually, we're gonna switch these around. I think Alabasta is better than Arlong, right, with Vivi and everything. But Arlong's still great. I do think I appreciate Arlong and just Luffy giving his hat and stuff a little bit more than Marineford. This is definitely, like, more me versus actual story elements and like how good it actually is, this is just me. Like, I just do not like Marineford as much, which I know is just a different take, but most of these are really coming from just the thematic elements and also just the lore drops and the importance of them. So yeah, my top 5 is, and I would put Egghead up here as top 3. I think I'm gonna remove Alabasta, or honestly, yeah, I think I'd remove Alabasta, and I'd put Alabasta at 4, and I'd put Egghead at 1. I would put Egghead, Ennis Lobby, Wano, Alabasta. Alabasta and Wano are very interchangeable, but just like I said, because of the Gear 5 and stuff, if I had to remove one of these from my top 3, I think I would remove this one. Though, of these two, I do prefer Alabasta. In the grand... Actually, yeah, no. I'm going to remove that, and then I'd push it back. I do think Wano is better because of the Gear 5 transformation. Though, I do want to put respect on this due to the fact that it was blood, sweat, and tears that beat him. It wasn't no hockey, it wasn't no crazy devil fruit, it was just straight hands. It was literally Luffy was covered in blood, and that was what stopped his Logia. Not to mention the absolutely iconic soundtrack from the original anime. Just freaking amazing. I love it. Just that orchestra soundtrack. I go back and watch it all the time. Just that fight. It's great. Gotta put that in the server. They want to see it. But yeah, that is my tier list. I'd say this is pretty final. I know some people can change certain arcs or anime based on how they feel, but like I said, this is more on the story elements, and obviously it can change based on stuff that we learn later on. Like, I could see Reverse Mountain getting up there, or Long Ran, because I do think I think there's a very high chance that Long Ran was affected, kind of like Punk Hazard. Where's Punk Hazard? Like Punk Hazard from Devil Fruit battles, I can see Long Ring being affected by the original Nika Fruit. But until then, I can't put it that high. I do think these are just a little lackluster. I don't think any One Piece arc is necessarily D. These are just kind of little goofier arcs, these two. But yeah, we got our B tier. These are all solid B tier. They're average, though. There's nothing too crazy, but they're not terrible. I don't think they're as bad as people think. They're just maybe not as enjoyable for some people. All the thematic elements in these are crazy. The lore going on, and then there's some crazy enjoyment and like just introduction to certain elements. So Bellamy comes back, but like I said, the Giants, this starts the whole Marineford and Ace storyline, but then we have the climaxes of some of these. So this is the climax of East Blue, climax of Baroque Works, climax of Paramount War, climax of all that. Because obviously climax is not always the end, it is just the heightened point. So yes, there's post-arc of this, that's not the climax. The climax was Ennis Lobby. And then Wano, like I said, I would put Egghead up here. I think Egghead would be number 1, just for the amount of lore dropped and stuff. And I think by the end of next year, the anime will probably be finished with Egghead. So I'll be able to, really speak on the anime aspect more on how they adapt that. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm going to put a link to this in my Discord server. So if you want to rate as well, let me know. I'm going to put a link to the podcast episode that I listened to. So if you want to hear their view, they did, it's about 30 minutes, but they just did pre-time skip. They're going to do post-time skip. So go subscribe to their podcast too. So that way you know when that's going to go live. But again, I'm Dr. Zombrain. I love One Piece. I also don't know if y'all realize, I got Rob Lucci right here. I really like One Piece. I'm going to be doing some One Piece 101 soon. I'm working on it. I'm going to try to have a video up before I go to camp this week. I'll be going away for a few weeks, and then when I come back, I'm going to be probably doing some more tier lists and more video essays apart from 101 Piece. That can be pretty fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.